Mukam karuti vachalam pangum langhayate girim yat kripa tamam bande paramananda madhavam. I bow down to Krishna, who is the embodiment of love and compassion, by whose grace the lame scale mountains and the dumb become eloquent. May that Krishna be the guide of our lives. Om Shantihi, Shantihi, Shantihi. Peace, 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 people. This morning our subject is Thoughts on the Gita, part 53. As you all know, we are studying this Bhagavad Gita in depth. There are 18 chapters of the Bhagavad Gita. The first chapter is called the chapter on grief, despondency, depression. That is also a yoga. Krishna says, through despondency to depression, people's mind turn toward God. The second chapter is called chapter of ultimate reality. What is the goal? The third chapter is the path of action. Fourth, path of knowledge. Fifth, path of renunciation. Sixth, path of meditation. So that chapter we shall start today. Dhyana Yoga. There are 18 chapters of the Gita. According to tradition, the first 6 chapters deals with Tvam. You. Who are you? What is your true nature? That is the first 6 chapters of the Gita. The second 6 chapters from 7 to 12 deals with Tat, God. What is the true nature of God? How to know God. So first 6 chapters are in human beings. Next 6 chapters talk about God. And the next 6 chapters is called Oshi. Thou art that, you are God. Very interesting, the way the whole Gita has been set up, which describes the great Vedic dictum, Tat Tvamasi, thou art that. Thou, you, human being, you think you are imperfect sinner or whatever you may think about yourself. Actually, you are that pure consciousness, you are God. You are unaware of your true nature. Krishna reveals, unveils the true nature to human beings. Second, we have queer, very strange concept about God. Krishna explained the real nature, the true nature of God. And in the next 6 chapters, he said that the divinity, the consciousness which is within you, same pervading consciousness is in Brahman. Sometimes Vedanta gives this illustration. You call it chapel space, library space, kitchen space, room space, bathroom space. You give various names of these spaces according to the room. You break all walls, only it is space. So as a space, It is all one. But we have various names. Similarly, this individual consciousness, that individual consciousness, that individual consciousness, as consciousness, it is one. That is called Oshi. First you need Atma Kripa, that Krishna mentioned in the beginning. Self-effort. Grace of your own mind is necessary to realize God, to move in spiritual life. Then comes Ishwar Kripa. If you move, God will move. If you go one step towards God, God will come 100 steps toward you. That Sri Ramakrishna says. You just move one step. That we find in the Gita. I love that verse. Ananya cheta satatam yo mam smarate nittasha tasyam sulava partha nitya yukta sajoginaha. Ananya cheta. The person who thinks of me without any interruption. All the time, thinking of me. Do you know what I do? Tasyam sulava partha. I am easily, quickly available to that person because his mind united with me. Everything is in the mind. That we shall learn from this 6th chapter of the Gita. There are 47 verses in this chapter. The first 9 verses, 1 to 9, is the introduction. Introduction of what? How to be established in yoga. Patanjali says, Nirantar, Dirghakala Nirantar Jina Tatkara Sevita Dirghumi. Dirghakala. Long time. Nirantarja. Nirantarja. Means uninterruptedly. If you can keep your mind in God, you will be established in the yoga. Dirghakala, not short time. Sometimes we try to sit for meditation, our minds are so scattered, so restless. We cannot keep mind in God for a few minutes. What to speak of, even few seconds we cannot hold the mind in God. Why? Because our minds are impure, full of desires and doubts. Krishna will teach us in this chapter how to make the mind pure. That is the introduction. Next, from verse 10 to 26, he will teach us how to meditate. Read this Gita. If you don't have a copy, buy it. You will not be losers. Gita is a book of life, which is a non-sectarian scripture. 10 to 26, how to meditate. He will give a specific instruction. First this, next. You see, if we get an instructor like Krishna, you don't need to go to any other yogi, guru or Baba. Then, from verse 27 to 32, Krishna will tell us the result of meditation. What will you gain? What will you achieve in meditation? Some people think, Swami, sitting in the shrine, closing the eyes, spending 1 hour, 2 hours, misuse of time. Some people think that way. But Krishna will tell us, it will not be the misuse of time. You will gain which you will not get from anywhere else. The next verses 32 to 36, you will find great difficulty for concentration. Arjuna says, It is easy to control the wind, but it is difficult to control the mind. Krishna says, I know that. Then he will give instruction. Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena ja grijyate. Only two things can control the mind. Repetition of practice and detachment. There is no third way. These are the two ways. Krishna said that. Patanjali, the father of yoga psychology, also mentioned the same thing. Abhyasa vairagyabhyam tannirodha. Through abhyas, repetition of practice, and vairagya, detachment, non-attachment, will help you to control the mind. Next, 37 to 44. Krishna mentioned what happens. The person who could not succeed in this life while practicing yoga, yoga bhrashta. He started with great sincerity but fell. You see, this path is very slippery. Your one moment's mistake can ruin your 30 years of spiritual journey. Very, very slippery path. Lust, greed, bring the mind instantly in a bottom plane. That Krishna will tell us. But he says nothing is lost. In the next life, you will again start your journey. What happens to a fallen yogi? And the next two verses, Krishna eulogized the yoga. Now, the beginning of Dhyana Yoga is Karma Yoga. Why? If you want to meditate, what do you need? You need a pure mind, otherwise mind cannot meditate. Purity of mind. Purity of mind means the mind which does not have any distraction, no desire, no doubt. That mind is very pure. So, for the purification of the mind, what we are supposed to do? How can we mind be pure? You know how to clean your clothes, dirty clothes. You put into the washing machine, you put detergent, you turn on the knob of your washer, and then within 15 minutes, this cycle, all the dirt will go away through the hose. Your clothes are clean, you put into dryer, just take your clothes to your room. Meditation is also the same. You put your mind according to the instruction of your Guru. And Guru knows what kind of detergent you will have to put in your mind. Then mind will be purified. That pure mind will meditate. You see, Karma Yoga, Nishkam Karma, unselfish action, purifies the mind. This is the Vedantic way. Nishkam Karma, Chitta Shuddhartam. Unselfish action purifies the mind. When the mind becomes purified, what happens? Chittaika gram, its mind becomes one-pointed. If the mind has no distraction, it becomes one-pointed, very concentrated. That comes through upasana. First Nishkam Karma, unselfish action, then upasana, daily japam and meditation. That upasana makes the mind one-pointed. Next stage will be deep meditation. Next stage will be samadhi. This is the way, the Vedantic method. of meditation. In the beginning, you will have to work hard. There is no other way. Some people think meditation is relaxation. It is just the opposite. Hard work. We know it is how difficult to control the mind. Extremely difficult. In the beginning, when you go to school in the kindergarten, we go on writing alphabet, memorizing rhymes and stories from our teachers. We continue with schools and colleges. Then in the final way, when we go to the university, we only listen to the lectures. At that time, we do not learn alphabet or any other thing. So in the initial stage, you will have to work hard. Sri Ramakrishna gave a very beautiful illustration. A goldsmith wants to melt his gold. He put the gold into the fire and then he pulls the bellows and he blows through his mouth. At that time his whole mind is concentrated to melt the gold so that he can make a jewelry. He can put this melted gold in a mold and make a necklace or bracelet or whatever it may be. At that time he makes tremendous effort and he is fully concentrated. Later when it is melted, when he puts into the mold, at that time he smokes. He does not smoke when he is melting the gold. Relaxation comes later. Some people think if I work, I shall be a karma yogi. Not necessarily. Most people do not know how to work. Krishna taught that thing all over Gita, how to be a karma yogi. If you practice yoga, that does not mean you will be established in yoga. But what is the problem? Problem is sankalpa, vasana, outgoing tendencies of the mind. We know it. We experience it all the time. Mind is always going out through the senses, through the eyes, through the ears, through the nose, through the mouth. Mind is running out. You remember in the 5th chapter, Krishna says, Navoddhare puri dehi naiva kurban nakarayam. The yogi closes the 9 gates of this body and remains within. Sankalpa. This is the word when we shall read the Gita. I am just giving you a brief description what is behind these verses of the Gita. Sankalpa prabhavan kamana, desire comes from Sankalpa. Brihadaranyaka Upanishad tells us, Kamomayu vayam purusha. All these human beings you see in this world have desires. I remember I asked one Swami, who was a disciple of Holy Mother, Maharaj, could you tell me what speciality you saw in the mother? He replied, I saw in the mother, she had no desires. Completely desireless. Only God is desireless. Always remember. Desire comes from what? Ignorance. Ignorance, desire, action. If all these human beings, including myself, we are all rotating in these 3 places. Avidya, kama, karma. Avidya means ignorance, kama means desire, karma means action. We are continuously rotating, 70 years, 80 years, 90 years, you are in this world, we are all continuously rotating in these 3 places, we have no rest. No rest. So, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad says, Kamo mayu vayam purusha. These beings have desires. Then, Yat kamayate sajata kamo bhavati tat krotur bhavati. The moment desire comes, do you know what happens? Krotu. Krotu means resolution. I want to go to Vedanta temple. That desire came after your breakfast. Then what did you do? You go, perhaps you have taken a shower, you dress yourself, immediately you went to the garage, took the car, and you started to drive to Vedanta temple. That is called Krotu. The desire came, I shall go to hear the Swami. The desire forced you to go to the garage, take the car, and come to the Vedanta temple. That is called Krotu. That is called Shankarva, resolution. Yat Krotur bhavati tat karma kuruti. That Krotu, that desire, that resolution is forcing your foot on the gas pedal. Hey car, run, run, run. The car is running. That is the way it works. Then, Jat karma kurite tadavisam paddate. When your body, mind are full of action, you will get the result. You reach the Vedanta temple and sit on the chair and listening to the talk on the Gita. Really, try to imagine this way. I really love this verse. Kamo, desire, brings resolution. Resolution brings action. Actions brings the result. That is happening to all of us, all the time. Anyhow, you may be a doctor, you may be an engineer, you may, whatever you may be a teacher. All people are going through this process. I'm just telling you that, sometimes say, oh, I know karma very well. Very people know the mystery of the karma. And behind this karma is karmana, kripana, phala hetava. Krishna mentioned in the Gita, 2nd chapter, phala hetava. The people who are all the time seeking the result of action are very poor, wretched people. But Swami, I shall work, I shall not seek the result. Krishna says, no. You have the right to the action, not to the fruits. I shall give the fruit. If you seek the fruit, you will be in trouble. What kind of trouble? If you get the good result, you will be happy. If you do not get the good result, you will be unhappy. So your mind will continuously oscillate between happiness and misery, because you are working for yourself. But Krishna says, work for me, O Arjuna. That is called yajna. That we shall start. Already we started in the 3rd chapter, 4th chapter of the Gita. Our whole life is nothing but sacrifice. What are you sacrificing? Ego. Our problem is in the ego. Do you know what is this word? Vedanta says, aham mama. I and my. That is this word. I am beautiful, I am intelligent, I am learned, I am this, I am that. And mama, my wife, my husband, my money, my car, my job, my company. This whole world is nothing but I and my. When there is no I and my, there is no world. The world vanishes. That Krishna, if you read Viveka Chudamani of Shankara, you will see Shankara is continually repeating this word, ahamta mamata bhava. I and my. That is this word. In the Mahabharata, it says, Kamo janami te mulam sankalpat tvanghi jayasi natam sankalvishyami tena mena bhavishyasi. O desire, I know your source. Your source is Sankalpa, resolution. And I shall destroy it. Uproot that Sankalpa from my mind forever. So that you will never be able to build. You will never be able to manifest in my mind. But how is it possible? Ishvara pritartham karma. That Krishna was taught Arjuna. Just work for me. Desire only, desire for me. I shall look after your everything. Believe me. If you put your mind in me, I shall take care of your food, clothing, everything. Yogakshemam bhaimaham. That he will tell in the 9th chapter of the Gita. Do not worry about anything. Just think of me. Put your mind in me. I shall take care of you. But if he does not, what will happen? Sue me. You can sue Krishna. Well, you promised and you broke your promise. It never happened. We are talking about yajna, sacrifice. You see, if you go to Hindu temple, do you know, if you go to the Hindu temple, first you will see Nath Mandir, front hall. First you will see Gopuram, gate, beautiful, gorgeous gate. Then you will see the Nath Mandir, front hall. Then you go to inner sanctuary. Then farther inside you will find the Deity. If you go to Madurai temple, both sides you will find celestial maidens, beautiful girls. Those are Ushurja. The Hindu temple is built in such a way, if you are attached to those physical beauty of those beautiful women and the wealth, you will never be able to see the Mother Meenakshi. So, first, we are going inside. You first control your mind and go inside. Inside. When you go inside, what do you see? Well, Swami, when I go inside, we see darkness. Close your eyes, what will you see? Darkness. Sometimes I tell them, suppose it is a matinee show, you have gone to see a movie after bright sun outside. The moment movie has started, the moment you enter inside, you see darkness. You cannot see any seat where you will sit. Then you see the emergency light, exit, exit, exit. Gradually your eyes get used to it. And then you see, yes, there are some seats are available, I can sit there. So similarly, when you just start your meditation, in the beginning you will see terrible darkness. But don't get away, don't run away from it. Wait. As you entered a movie house and waited and saw your seat, so you wait. You will see your seat. You will see the Lord inside. It takes time. And it needs practice. So yajna, who is the presiding deity of this yajna, sacrifice? I shall sacrifice for whom? Vishnu. Yajna by Vishnu. Our scripture says, Vishnu, this great God, this all-pervading God, is the sacrifice. Sacrifice everything for God. We got everything from God and we give everything back to God. That is the way the world order has been set. And if you do not sacrifice, nature will force you to sacrifice. Prachuto keli konduku. That is the scripture says. Do you know? You want to snatch away the doll from your child. Child is fighting. No, I won't give it to you. And started to cry. Then mother gives up. All right, you go to bed with your doll. The moment the baby sleeps, mother takes the doll from the baby and puts it on a table. She does not force. Automatically, doll drops from the hand of the baby, from the child. So God will take away your everything when you depart from this world. You will not be able to carry anything. You may possess everything in your name, but finally nothing will go with you. That is yajna, sacrifice. Offer everything. You see, this meditation will teach us how to divert the energy toward God. The energy is going outside in a scattered way. But here, it will go straight inside. All senses will be controlled. Mind will go within. Now we shall start the Gita. Verse 1. Shri Bhagavan Uvacham Anashrita karma phalam karyam karma karutiya sasennasi jajogi chanani ragni na chakriyaha. One who performs one's bounden duty without depending upon the fruit of action, he or she is a renouncer of action, as well as one steadfast mind, not one who does not handle fire, nor one who is without action. Karma phalam. We are seeking the result of action. Anashrita, don't seek. You see, you are a farmer. You till the ground, you sow the seed, you put the fertilizer. That is your job. You irrigate, then remaining part belongs to God. Whether you will get the crop or not, whether your field will be inundated by Mississippi River or not, you do not know. You do not know whether there will be drought or not, perhaps there is no rain, perhaps there is no sufficient water for irrigation either. So there are many conditions are there to get the result. Krishna says, work wholeheartedly, with love, with sincerity. Result is bound to come to you. The student who prepares the examination very well, he is not worried at all. He knows he will pass. He will get good result. And the person who does not work hard, does not prepare his paper well, he is worried. And everything was in human hand. Here is a surgeon, did the surgery. The patient's relatives are asking the surgeon, how is our patient? I did my job very well. Now it is in the hand of God. If you ask the lawyer, shall I win this case? Lawyer says, I presented your case very well. Now it is in the hand of the judge. That is the way it works. Everything is not in human hand. Without seeking any result of action, who performs action well, he is sannyasi. He is a yogi. Krishna says, which is eulogy, not in a true sense, he is a sannyasi. He has renounced the result of action. He is a true yogi. No nirogni, no chakriya. That is a little difficult to understand. Nirogni means a devout Hindu in ancient time performed Vedic sacrifice, Agnihotra. Every day they pour oblation to the fire god. Why? They have a desire. I shall go to heaven, I shall get this enjoyment, this and that. For that reason I am pouring oblation and worshipping God. He has a desire. Akriya means this is Shruta karma and Smarta karma. Smarta karma means philanthropic activities. I am digging a well for the poor people in the village. I am planting some trees so that people can come and get shade there. Or I am building some hospitals. These kind of activities, they call it a Smarta karma. Akriya. So, those who are, they also, if you give up that kind of action, Shruta karma, Smarta karma, I shall not, I want to be a yogi. Do you know what is the goal there? What is their idea? Idea means, if I am actionless, then I am free. I shall realize God. Because this is the nature of the Vedantic monk. Renounce activities. Because action brings various kinds of distraction of the mind. So I want to make my mind calm, serene. How to do it? Give up action. So Krishna says, there are some people, those who are householders, oh no, I shall not do any Vedic sacrifice, I shall not do any philanthropic activities. This way, I shall be a sannyasi, I shall be a yogi. Krishna says, in no way, you are befooling yourself. Na karmana manorammat nishkarmam purushošnute. You cannot attain that actionless state without going through action. You will have to go through your karma. There is no other way. In this very first shloka, Krishna tells us about who is a yogi, who is a true monk. He is asking that question and giving the answer. Whoever does his or her duties without expecting to get the fruits for oneself, that is the attitude. The whole teaching of the Gita is based upon the spirit of non-attachment. Don't depend upon the fruits of the action. It belongs to all, not only to you. Non-nirogni. And not those who undergo a sannyasa ritual. That is the meaning of nirogni. One who does not cook one's food in one's own fireplace. Householders light a fire to use for worship as well as for cooking. That is another way. If you are a true monk, you are not supposed to touch fire. You are not supposed to cook for food. Why? A mendicant bakes food, lives in begging. He does not possess anything. His whole mind, day and night, thinks about God. It is true in India, there are some monks, they do not touch fire. They do not cook, they do not touch fire. But who feed them? There are many people are anxious to feed them. Because feeding them, you will get a great virtue. Because these people are day and night devoting themselves for God's realization. I remember when our Hollywood, our nuns would get their final vows. 3 days they will have to live on begging. But in America, begging means you will have to go to jail. So our devotees have arranged, one devotee says, today I shall feed you, another devotee. They are anxious to feed these nuns, Hollywood nuns, or Santa Barbara nuns. They would go to a devotee's house, they will feed them. But they will not cook for 3 days. Krishna is cautioning us, don't be lazy. Some people think I have given up action, I am a monk, I am following the monastic ideal without not doing anything. Krishna says you are befooling yourself. You are cheating yourself. You have a lot of inside full of desires. One is the ordinary dimension full of ignorance, delusion and laziness. The other is Shattika type of akama, being these cravings for this or that because one has realized the Atman. What more do you need? What can compare with God? If you get God, everything else is secondary and there's absolutely no value. In many of the statements of the mystics all over the world, Christian, Sufi, Buddhist and others, you will find the idea, I have got the most precious thing in the world, the divine itself. I don't depend upon anything else. Such a state is a state of desirelessness. And yet, whatever desire is there in such persons is only to serve people, to make their life better and better. All great people belong to this category. You see, do you know what remains after God realization? Compassion. At that time, it is hard for a person to be selfish. Your heart will be melted away for others. I was watching some pictures in our New York Times or somewhere I saw, in tsunami in Japan. A man's, his half of the body under the rubble. And his wife is alive or dead, he does not know. And I was watching his face. He has a little mustache. Seeing his face, I got so much pain, I cannot tell you. Wife perhaps is dead, and this man was trying to come out. A part of the house is on his body, and this upper part is up, and I was watching his face. Compassion remains. Love for people. Share anything you have with others. Sometimes some people think the Vedanta monks or the yogis, they're very selfish and this and that. Not really. They have tremendous love and compassion for human beings. That is the way they took the vows. When I took the vows, I had to repeat a mantra. Atmana mokshartam jagadhitaya. I am taking these vows for my own liberation and for doing good to humanity. First, my own liberation. If I am not free, I cannot make others free. If I am bound, I cannot make another person free. That is the vow we have to take. Next verse, Yam Sannasam iti prahu yogam tam vidhi pandava nahi asannasta sankalpo yogi bhavati kasyana. know that to be devotion to yoga of action, which is called renunciation, O Pandava, for none become a yogi of action without renouncing sankalpa. What is yoga? Chitta vritti nirodha. Controlling the thought waves of the mind is called yoga. Goal, calmness of the mind. Sannyasi, karma phala tyaga, sankalpa tyaga. I am renouncing the desire, all of action, result of action. So his goal also to calm the mind. This yogi's goal also is the calm of the mind. Sannyasi and yogi, you will have to understand what they are talking about. Sannyasi means the Vedantic approach, who has renounced 3 desires. Lokushana, Putrishana, Vittushana. Desire for name and fame, desire for progeny, sex, and desire for money, wealth. A sannyasi must renounce these 3 desires, otherwise he cannot be a monk. And the yogi, he is also renouncing all of his bad habits, every desires, and keep the mind calm in the self, on the Atman. Yam sannyasam iti prahu, what is called sannyasa. Sannyasa and yoga, same, Krishna says. Hey Pandava, hey Arjuna, listen. A sannyasa and yoga, both are the same. Nahi asannasta sankalpa yogi bhavati kasyana. The person, without renouncing sankalpa, I explained to you what a sankalpa means: resolution, desire, outgoing tendency. Without controlling that, you cannot be a yogi. Just by renouncing the action, you cannot be a yogi. That thing which is called sannyasa, the same thing is yoga. Not the mere giving up of this or that is sannyasa. True sannyasa means renunciation, path of monasticism. And true yoga are one and the same thing. If you do not give up your resolution, desire, you cannot become a yogi. Sankalpa means the outgoing desire. I must have this, I must have that. Endlessly going on, what I referred to earlier in the consumerist mania of modern civilization. The mind is constantly formulating. I want this, I want that. That is called Sankalpa. Sankalpa is the root of all desires. All desires come from Sankalpa. Mahabharata says, I have understood, O desire, you are born of Sankalpa. I shall not have Sankalpa, then you will not come and trouble me at all. Sankalpa. Open the newspaper, especially Saturday. This thick Sankalpa will come. Advertisement, did you see? I sometimes watch them. This much news and this much is Sankalpa. Open the television in the morning. Bombardment of Sankalpas, desires, commercials. They're creating desires. Buy me, buy me. Come to the shopping mall, buy me. These are all Sankalpas. This Sankalpa you understand. You see, don't think that Krishna is difficult to understand. This kind of Sankalpa we understand. But if you have no money, have the credit card. I was listening that in the Super Bowl, that that the commercial, 30-second commercial perhaps won $2 million. 30 seconds. Who can afford? Bush beer. Bush beer, buy me. drink, get drunk. That is Sankalpa. Creating, go, come and drink and get drunk. And they can afford to buy, to sell, to buy that, to give that kind of commercial, you see. That money will come from your pocket. The only way is to divert some energy or to something higher. That higher dimension is the spiritual development of human being, about which many Western scientists today are writing books. Number of books are coming out with the spiritual orientation of human life and human civilization. You see, one of my friends had 18 credit cards. One man, 3 cars. He had nearly perhaps 100 sets of clothing in his closet. Still, he will go and buy clothes. He has money, what to do? Money, shopping mania. I shall go and buy something. When I'm tired, disgusted, depressed, go to the shopping mall. Buy something. And I feel momentarily good. Krishna says, divert that energy within. Instead of outgoing shopping mall, go within. There is a beautiful place inside your heart which is neglected. That will give you more peace, more happiness than buying things and showing to your friends, this is the latest car I have bought, this. When I wait for my plane in Kansas City, I saw inside the airport they put Mercedes latest models, they lined up. And some people moving around and touching the car. I do not have desire for car. You cannot become a yogi without giving up these desires. That sannyasa behind yogi is what makes you or her a yogi. You see, should you not have desire? You must have desire. Have desire for those things which will help you to build your spiritual life, to realize God. I had a desire to become a monk, so I renounced my family, everything, just joined the monastery. I had a desire. Still I have desires. I remember when we were studying economics in the college, our professor was talking the characteristics of human wants. Do you know what is the first characteristic of human wants? It is insatiable. I still remember that old professor with white hair. It is insatiable. That he told us. What is insatiable? Then he gave an illustration. I still remember. Perhaps you have drunk up to this. Not a single drop can go into the manu. You are drunk. You are wine, you are drunk. You cannot drink anymore. At that time you say, aur le ao, bring more. Well, at that time you forget even your mother tongue. He was a very humorous professor. He drank up to this. Still, there is not a single drop can go inside. Well, bring more. That is an illustration. The desire is insatiable. You cannot fulfill all of your desires. Sri Ramakrishna advised his disciples, all small desires, fulfill them. I remember our professor, our teacher in training center, he told us one of the stories of his life. Well, I thought, if I be a monk, I shall not be able to get any good food. So I went to a shop in Calcutta, a good sweet shop, and bought good Rasgulla, Sandesh. I ate, and then I joined the monastery. I still remember he told me, Paras, I shall not get any more good food in my life. It is better to eat something in a good restaurant, good hotel, and then I shall go and join the monastery. Desire is not quenched by satisfying the desire. It only gets inflamed like fire into which butter is poured to put it out. That is the language he has used there. Which is the famous saying of Jajati. He got 1,000 years longevity, and he had a desire to enjoy women. He borrowed youth from his son and enjoyed 1,000 years. After enjoying 1,000 years, he said that, Na jatu kaman kamanam upavagena saimati havisha krishna vartvaiva bhuyo evavi vardhate. Desire cannot be fulfilled by enjoying more desires. As you cannot extinguish fire by pouring butter oil or ghee. The flame will rise more and more and more and more. Similarly, it is insatiable. Nobody can finish it. That is the nature of desire. I sometimes here we do not have television. In California, my landlord gave a television to me. I was sometimes in the morning, I was Good Morning America. Sometimes I used to watch CNN. I used to watch what are the main themes of commercial. First is weight loss. That is so many commercials on weight loss and exercise. Second commercial comes facelift. Before and after. So many bombardment of before and after, before and after, before and after. How you look. I watch what are the main themes of the commercials in nowadays. Exercise, weight loss, how to lose weight. Who is asking you to eat? And cosmetic surgery, that is a big thing they show. I remember there was an actress in Hollywood. She was my teacher. She used to teach me how to speak in Hollywood. So she went for a commercial. And after commercial, she came to teach me. Swami, I went for a commercial. Commercial money, do you know what? Buy this cereal. That means $10,000. If you are a beautiful actress, if you can buy this cereal or buy this car, just few seconds, $10,000. So she tells Swami, I told these people, those who arranged the commercial, I said, this commercial will not be right thing, the language is not good. Your merchandise, your product will not sell. Then the companies, the big, the CEO, all these people said, what do you say so? But the language is not right. But what do you mean? We engaged 6 lawyers to prepare that script. 6 lawyers behind that, we just 20 or 30 seconds script, 6 lawyers worked. And you said the script was not good. Well, I tell you frankly, your product will not sell with that kind of script. She used to tell me what is going on in this world. And now, Yellow Pages. That also I used to watch. A man is seated there, and the disciple came Master, how can I control the mind? Open yellowpages.com. Master, where shall I get the best restaurant in town? Yellowpages.com. Master, how can I realize God? Yellowpages.com. That is commercial. Anyhow, nowadays God realization, you can open yellowpages.com. You don't need me. Funny. So after this, we understand that you will have to give the result of action, and do not put your mind with the outgoing tendencies. Krishna will tell us more. Atma me shuddhantam jyotiraham viraja vipapma bhuyasam. Antaratma me shuddhantam jyotiraham viraja vipapma bhuyasam. Paramatma me shuddhantam jyotiraham viraja vipapma bhuyasam. May my body become pure. May I be free from impurities and ignorance. May I realize myself as the light divine. May my mind become pure. May I be free from impurities and ignorance. May I realize myself as the light divine. May my soul become pure. May I be free from impurities and ignorance. May I realize myself as the light divine. Om. Peace, peace, peace be told.